Stop turning the key. Stop looking at the badge on your grille. Stop believing the comfortable, expensive lie that German engineering is still the pinnacle of the automotive world. For over a century, the hierarchy of the car world was carved in stone, an unwritten constitution that everyone obeyed. If you wanted soul and passion, you looked to Italy. If you wanted reliability, you looked to Japan. But if you wanted the apex of engineering, the absolute crown of the internal combustion engine, you bought German. You bought a Volkswagen. You bought a Mercedes. You bought a BMW. But we need to stop lying to ourselves. That hierarchy hasn't just been challenged, it has been shattered. The unwritten constitution has been torn up and set on fire. While the Western automotive media has been busy treating the Chinese industry with a mix of arrogance and condescension, the gates have been breached. For the first time in 88 years, Volkswagen is shutting a manufacturing plant in Germany. Think about that. The Dresden Transparent Factory, the glass-walled cathedral of European manufacturing, is being dismantled. Why? Because the West is polishing a candle while China has invented the light bulb. This is no longer a competition, it is a changing of the guard. And at the center of this technological execution is a company called Chery. What they have just revealed doesn't just catch up to the West, it renders the legacy world officially obsolete. I know exactly what you're thinking. It's just another Chinese brand. It's a copycat. I know that's the narrative you've been sold. But here is the reality. For the last 5 years, while Mercedes was scaling back its EV targets and BMW was delaying its Neue Klasse platforms, Chery was building a global R&D network that spans 8 centers across North America, Europe, and Asia. They have transformed from an engine company into a hybrid assembly company that is currently running circles around the legacy elite. They aren't just building cars, they are performing a forensic dissection of everything the West failed to innovate. Let's talk about the physics of the old world failure. Open the bonnet of a 2025 Volkswagen Tiguan. Inside, you will find the 5th generation E-A88 engine. It is a solid engine. It has a thermal efficiency of roughly 41%. For over a decade, the industry has treated 40% as a soft ceiling. They told us that for every $100 you spend at the petrol station, $60 are thrown away immediately as heat. It was an accepted loss, a physical limitation. But that limitation was actually a lack of engineering imagination. This is where the Chery Kunpeng Tiancheng engine turns the world of thermodynamics upside down. This is the 48.2% thermal efficiency breakthrough. In engineering, a 1% gain is a triumph. A 7% gain over the industry average is a quantum leap. It is a physical impossibility by legacy standards. Chery has achieved this using what they call a dual-curve triple linkage mechanism and a 26:1 ultra-high expansion ratio. They are running a millicycle with an intensity that would melt a traditional German block. They have achieved the industry's highest ignition energy of 2,000 millijoules and the highest mass production EGR rate of 32%. Let that sink in. While VW and Mercedes are struggling to maintain margins by cutting costs and firing 35,000 workers, Chery has invested 3 billion yuan and 50,000 hours of bench testing to create an engine that converts nearly half its fuel into pure, usable power. They are squeezing every joule of energy out of a drop of petrol like a mechanical weapon. This isn't just a better engine, it is the death of the efficient European diesel. But wait, I know what the skeptics are saying. Hybrid tech is just a bridge. The battery is the real war. Fine, let's talk about the Rhino S. This is Chery's all-solid-state battery module under their new Kunpeng battery brand. For years, Toyota has been promising solid-state batteries by 2027 or by 2030. They've been teasing us with press releases for a decade. Meanwhile, Chery has just showcased a module with a cell energy density of 600 watt-hours per kilogram. To put that into perspective, that is double the density of the most expensive lithium-ion batteries currently sitting in a high-end Tesla or Porsche. The range? Between 1,200 and 1,500 kilometers on a single charge. And here is the legacy killer. It is stable at minus 30 degrees Celsius. While every EV in London and Berlin loses 40% of its range in a cold snap, the Rhino S is officially immune. It uses an in-situ polymerization system that eliminates the risk of spontaneous combustion at the source. Chery is entering small-scale validation this year, in 2026, with mass production in 2027. They aren't promising the future, they are beta testing it while the West is still trying to figure out how to source lithium without going bankrupt. Before we dive into the comparison massacre where we put Chery's hardware against the best of Germany, I need you to do something crucial. If you want to understand the engineering behind the cars of tomorrow and see through the lies of the legacy automotive industry, make sure you are subscribed. We don't just read the press release, we explain the physics of the revolution. Now, let's perform a comparison massacre. Let's look at the new 2026 Chery Tiggo 9CSH Vanguard. This is an AWD flagship with 3 electric motors and that 48% efficient engine. It produces 455 kilowatts of power and a terrifying 920 newton meters of torque. 0 to 100 kilometers per hour, 5.7 seconds. Real-world range, over 1,400 kilometers. Now, look at its competitor, the Mercedes-Benz GLE 350e. The Mercedes is a fine car, it's luxurious, it has a prestige badge. But it costs nearly double the price, its engine is less efficient, and its hybrid range is a fraction of the Chery's. In a real-world endurance challenge from Shanxi to Shanghai, the Chery Arizo 8 CSH didn't just meet its certified range, it surpassed it. And let's talk about safety. The legacy media loves to whisper about Chinese build quality. So, Chery launched the world's first extreme condition safety tests. They took their Guardian battery and soaked it in salt water for 53 hours and 51 minutes. Then they installed it back into a Tiggo 8 and drove it. 0 leakage. 0 short circuits. 0 thermal runaway. They performed a 7-vehicle stack test where 7 cars were piled on top of each other. They did a high-speed spiral rollover. They did a 100% frontal collision between 2 cars. They are doing things to their cars that would make a Volvo engineer sweat. They aren't just matching Western safety, they are humiliating it. This is a geopolitical extinction event. For my Australian and UK viewers, you are seeing this invasion firsthand. The sub $10,000 Chery QQ is coming. The full-one A9L is here. These aren't cheap cars, they are technologically superior machines that happen to be affordable because of vertical integration and development speed. European manufacturers typically require 5 to 7 years to develop a new model. Chery does it in 24 months. Some projects are compressed to 9 months. They are moving with the speed of a software company while the Germans are still debating the ergonomics of a door handle in a committee meeting. The Western response has been tariffs. The US and the EU are trying to build a wall of taxes to keep these cars out. But you cannot tax your way out of a 48% thermal efficiency gap. You cannot tariff your way out of a solid-state battery that doesn't freeze. The legacy brands are retreating into luxury niches, abandoning the middle class because they can no longer compete on the engineering merits. Mercedes is refocusing on V8s and V12s to save their margins. VW is closing factories. They are retreating into the past while China is flight testing modular eVTOL flying cars. Chery's land and air vehicle has already completed an 80-kilometer autonomous test flight. It's a 3-body hybrid wing vehicle that can switch from a car chassis to a flight module in minutes. This isn't science fiction, it was revealed at their 2024 Global Innovation Conference, and it's being refined as we speak. So, here is the verdict. The era of the safe Western choice is officially dead. The king of engineering is no longer in Wolfsburg or Stuttgart, it is in Wuhu. The Tiggo 9 isn't just a car, it is a declaration of industrial violence against a legacy world that got too comfortable and too slow. The question is no longer whether Chinese cars are good enough. The question is, how much longer can the Western brands survive before their 38% efficiency and 5-year development cycles render them completely extinct? Is 48% thermal efficiency enough to make you give up on your BMW? Would you trust a battery that's been under salt water for 53 hours? Or are you sticking with the badge no matter how far behind the technology falls? Let me know in the comments. If you want to see through the lies of the legacy automotive industry and witness the technology that is actively destroying the old world, hit that subscribe button. We don't just follow the news, we analyze the engineering. See you in the skies.